So, what happens when the world just breaks? We're about to dive into a story that gives one absolutely terrifying answer. It's a look at control, survival, and the kinds of lies we get told when society completely falls apart.
Okay, let's start with this one line. Clean water is a felony. This tells you everything you need to know about the world we're stepping into. A world where the most basic thing you need to live isn't just hard to find, it's illegal. I mean, how does a society even get to a point like that? Well, this isn't some far-off hypothetical future. It's a world where pretty much everything that could go wrong did. The environment has totally collapsed, leaving what's left of humanity scrambling to pick up the pieces in a world that just doesn't work anymore.
Just think about that for a second. The very ground under our feet is useless. Basic survival becomes this daily, desperate struggle because agriculture, the entire foundation of civilization, has completely failed.
And it's not just the land that's dead. The oceans are barren, the natural resources are so depleted that whole ecosystems and all the food they used to provide have just been wiped out. And this single horrifying image, it really shows you the absolute depth of the desperation. When a resource as fundamental as water is gone, this is the reality people are facing. This is the world that the Humanity Bureau was born into.
So, how does the government respond to all this? In the face of a total catastrophe, a new agency pops up and it's promising order, and of course, a solution to this crisis of, well, everything.
Now, notice the wording here. This isn't a relief agency. It's a management agency. The Humanity Bureau literally holds the power of life and death over its citizens, deciding who is valuable enough to society and who isn't.
And here's how they do it. The Bureau sorts the entire population into two simple and really brutal categories. You either contribute more than you take, or you are officially labeled a burden to society. That's it. There is no middle ground.
And this is where things get really twisted. Not being productive isn't just seen as a personal problem or a failing. It is a crime against the state. Your economic output literally determines if you're a law-abiding citizen or a criminal.
But hey, there's a silver lining, or so they say. For anyone deemed a burden, the government offers what sounds like a perfect second chance, a one-way ticket to a utopian colony called New Eden, where a brand new, better life is waiting.
Yeah, you can probably see where this is going, right? A promise that good is almost always too good to be true. And as more and more people get sent to this supposed paradise, the official story starts to completely unravel. So you start to see the evidence mounting that New Eden is a lie. You hear whispers, rumors of terrible conditions. Friends and family who get deported, you never hear from them again. It gets so bad that people would rather stay and starve than go to this so-called utopia. Then you have citizens like this man Chester Hills, who claim to know a secret, and it's a truth they are willing to die to protect, fighting against the Bureau with everything they've got. And that's the central mystery here, isn't it? What could possibly be so terrible about New Eden that dying in this broken world seems like a better option? Okay, this is where that carefully built facade is about to be completely torn down, revealing a reality that is far more horrifying than anyone could have possibly imagined.
So after all the propaganda, all the promises of a fresh start, and all the lies about a better life, we finally get to the terrible, simple answer. The horrifying truth is that New Eden was never a resettlement colony. It was never a new beginning. It was always an end. It was the government's final solution for its unproductive population. The scale of this lie it's just staggering. This wasn't about managing resources. It was mass extermination. 7 million people, deemed a burden, were systematically eliminated, all under the guise of compassion. But that just raises another huge question. How do you keep a secret this big? How do you control millions of people and stop them from just running away? Well, the answer is you tell another lie, a really, really big one. To keep people from escaping north to a rumored safe zone in Canada, the Bureau just invents a threat, a huge, contaminated wasteland that's supposedly deadly to cross. And that right there, that is the ultimate takeaway. Why spend money and resources on physical barriers when you can build a prison right inside people's minds? Psychological control, built on fear, is way more effective and a whole lot cheaper than any physical wall. And that leaves us with this final, kind of haunting question. When the truth is completely buried and fear is the law of the land, what does freedom even mean? Is escape even possible when the bars of your cell are invisible?
Hey, if this deep dive into dystopia gave you something to think about, do us a favor and hit like, and be sure to subscribe for more explainers that dig into the stories that shape our world.